Oh hey, welcome back to this video of the C10 and operation of that. So once you have finished your scan, you will see that it will present a little image on the screen that shows the scan itself. So the idea behind this is just to make sure that you can actually see the scan and see what it is showing. So if it didn't scan what you need, or something got in the way, or there was an error, there's like black spots in it, that maybe the tripod shifted, it's going to show here. So that is when you have to like redo the scan where you were located. But all it is just to show you that, hey, I've completed the scan and it's ready to go. So I could press X and it will come out and go back to this screen. Now if I wanted to do targeting, which is what I'm going to talk about now, I have to do the scan first. So you always do the scan first and then you do the targeting. So my target menu is actually the target at the top of the screen here. So if I click that, it will come into the target definition screen. So the target definition screen, if you are at your first setup and you have several targets that you need to create, you're going to go to New to create the target. If you have already created targets for your project, and you know what the name of them is, then you can use this drop-down menu. So the nice thing about that is, let's say I scan here, and I pick up target 1, and then I move to another location, and I pick up target 1 again from the new location. I can just use the target ID drop-down, and everything is set up. So I don't need to change anything. So I go to New to create a new target. And then I get a new menu that asks for the target ID. So generally speaking, our targets, we always label them with a T first. So we go T, and then I'm just going to use 1 because that's my first target. So I press enter, and it says T1. Now I haven't cleaned out the scanner yet, but my target that I'm looking at is a 6-inch circle. So I'm going to find my 6-inch circle, and I select that, and then I can put in the target height. So depending on it, generally speaking, if you're going to do any kind of georeferencing, you're going to put in target heights because that's the most important part. So my target height maybe is at, whoops, at 1.20, whoops, I guess I'm going to delete that, 1.203 meters. Press enter because it's kind of low, so I would have measured to the center of the circle to get that number. Then when I have that one, I would press pick T. So what this is, it says I've set it up saying target 1 is a 6-inch circle. It is at this height. Now I need to tell the scanner where it is located. So I would click pick T, and then I get a little video. So the camera starts up and shows the video. So as I move my scanner, I am going to see that things are changing. And I'm going to move my video camera to follow this. Okay, so I know that my target is below here, and I like to use this as a good example. So because my target, I can't see it in my actual screen at the moment. You'll notice that there's little arrows around the sides here. Whatever you do, do not touch those because all the scanner is going to do is spin. And you do not ever like grab the scanner and try to stop it while it is trying to spin, because you're going to break it. So don't ever press those little gray buttons. If you do, chase it around and try to press the seek button to stop it. So the second last button looks like a little gun sight, and when you click it, it will turn red. This is going to say, okay, my arrow, wherever the center of my screen is, I'm going to move that arrow, that center of the screen, to the location that I'm clicking on. So I know that my target is below, so as you can see, I can just keep touching. So if you ever get into the scanner starts spinning situation, that is where you would just press that, and then you can just tap the screen and it will stop. So I'm just going to keep going down, and there's my target right here. So I'm going to try to tap in the center of the target and try to get as close as I can to the middle of the target as possible. Getting worse here. So the center of the screen, there is a little crosshair there, and I am trying to get it as close to the center as possible. I would say I'm pretty good, but if I needed to zoom in, I can press the zoom in button, which is at the top here, and it will zoom me right in, so I might be able to even get in even closer to the center. So now that I'm at the center of the target, I want to save it, so I'm going to press the little enter button at the top. So now that I have my target 1 set, so I have all the information on it and I have told it where it is located, I could do the next target. So I would put in a new target and then T2 and then do the same thing over. All the way, I could do all the targets and select all of them, pick all of them, make sure that everything is set up completely, and then I can press continue. So when I press continue, it is going to scan the target, and you can watch the little bar here as it goes, because it's going to stay right there. But you can see that the scanner itself, you'll see the green light on the target. You can see it's going to collect all of the target up, and then it will be creating the vertex in the center of it. So now, just a reminder that targets generally are only used for georeferencing or like really narrow situations where you're having a challenge going through. So there's just something to keep in mind, that you do not have to use targets all the time, because this software is now very, very powerful. But this will save you a little bit of time on the computer if you don't mind being out in the field. So once we get to the scan and finish up the scan, we get a new screen that says target results. So it will show all of the targets that you have set up and the target type, and then it'll tell you the status. And so in the last column it says OK. So there's only two options. There's either poor or OK. OK means that it's good. So it's just a very depressing way to say it's good. So when it's okay, you know you've got it, it's picked up the target, it is going to work in the software. So when you're done with that, you're going to press Store down at the bottom corner, and then you go back to the scan parameter screen. So at this point, this is where you will be moving the scanner. Now, you do not have to shut down the scanner entirely, but you do need to remove yourself from the scan parameter window. The reason being is that if you try to scan an image, it's going to pretend that it is, or it's going to think that it's still at the same location as it was. So now we have to press the X button, right there, and it goes back to this screen. So if you remember again that every time we move the scanner, we press standard setup. You are able to move the scanner when you have, when it's still on and on this screen. The key thing, though, is that you must have two people at a time doing this. Otherwise, if you are working alone, you have to shut this down and bring it up again. And ensure that when you've moved it, you're going to go to standard setup again, and that's the new location that you are at. So that is the operation of the C10 scanner, and then once you've done all of your scans throughout your project, you can just keep pressing X to go out, And then the main menu, you can press X to shut it down. It asks you, do you really want to shut it down? And you say yes. And then it will start to shut down. When you are shutting down this scanner, you have to wait until the fans stop before you take out the batteries. So you can hear the fans, you wait till they stop, and then you can actually shut it down. So that is the scanner. On my next video, I will be showing you guys how to take data off of the scanner.